Welcome to the Healthy Mind, Fit Body podcast. This is Kevin, and Wes is on the other line. What's going on, Wes?
Hey, Kev, how's it going? We are at podcast number 11 now, and last week we touched on some things regarding eating bad foods, right?
Yeah, and we're going to kind of continue along that theme. We're going to talk about, heroin and fast food today?
Yeah, exactly. Heroin addiction. It's just like junk food. And there's a little picture on this article on grist.org. The headline is Scientists Claim Junk Food is as Addictive as Heroin. And there's a picture of a gal that's licking the frosting off of a cupcake. Ooh, cupcakes.
And it's got the little green shots on it.
The sprinkle things?
The sprinkles, right.
Yeah. I suppose if you did a lot of those, then you'd have to... Well, most people that do that, they end up having to work out a lot.
Yeah.
And it reminds me, tomorrow morning I'm going to partake in this thing called a Group X workout. I guess a bunch of people get together and they go through this cardio circuit training routine for an hour. I've never actually done like one of these giant group exercises with, the instructors have got the microphone and they're yelling orders and stuff. We'll see how that goes. But
yeah, maybe you'll learn some discipline.
Perhaps. I'll become an obedient soldier of fitness.
There you go.
But a lot of people do this kind of stuff. They get together and they have to kind of browbeat each other into exercising because they indulge in this addiction to the junk food, right?
Yeah, and the addiction to junk food, this article kind of talks about the addiction to fat. And I guess they had some rats that were eating junk food and they just couldn't control themselves and they had to keep going back and getting more. But it's really the sugar that is the problem. I mean, yeah, you don't want to eat trans fats. That's pretty much poison to your body. But the addictive substance is sugar, and that's just been proven time and time again. And I know that I was once addicted to sugar completely, and I know a lot of people that are absolutely addicted to sugar. And so, I think the focus here is a little off.
Well, in addition to the fact that they're relying on rat studies to determine what's going on with humans, which, I mean, it's a completely different organism, similar in the fact that they're mammals and have, some proclivities that are the same, both like cheese.
Yeah.
But I just don't think it's a good model to actually look at human psychology. And when you actually examine what they were doing here, they're basically giving them high-fat diets and getting them hooked on just a whole bunch of different food substances that I'm not sure rats would typically eat. But if humans are a genius at doing anything, it's actually making sugar, transforming it into something that is extremely tasty, as well as having a lot of fat in it. So it's kind of a double whammy because once you have a lot of carbs, i.e. the sugar that's broken down from the carbs, in addition to the fat, it kind of does a double whammy on your metabolism. So you'll have actually more glucose that's stored as fat in that process. And it can spike your insulin levels even more. So, yeah, I mean, cupcakes are probably an example. We talked about donuts last week. That's another thing that people can just kind of wolf down without really knowing exactly what it's doing to their bodies, right?
Yeah, but if you have a cup of coffee with them, then you won't lose any energy. You'll just be fully charged.
Yeah, you'll be wide awake as you pack on those pounds.
Yeah, exactly.
The rats wanted their junk food fix so badly they were willing to tolerate electric shocks if that's what it meant to keep eating the stuff. How about that?
Shocks, yeah.
So I guess it's not humane to put humans in a study and subject them to electric shocks to see if they grab that extra cupcake, huh?
Yeah. And isn't it, weren't you saying that they've cured rats of just about everything known to man?
Oh yeah, mice, especially the lab mice, have been cured of pretty much every disease known to man. Yes.
Yeah, so that kind of shows you that this, testing on these creatures is not exactly going to tell us a lot about what we should eat and should avoid, right?
No. However, the conclusion here, they say eating junk food for a while could leave your brain's response to food permanently altered. How nice. Kind of puts industry calls for preserving consumer choice regarding the foods we eat into perspective, doesn't it? When it's an addiction, choice is the last thing we have. Well, that's self-fulfilling prophecy right there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because giving ammunition to those wanting to restrict access to these foods for children, well, for anyone really, this study certainly ensures that I will never look at a ho-ho the same again. Yeah, I don't think that it should be some sort of top-down restrictions by governmental officials to tell people what they can and cannot do. I mean, the people in government are the last people to look after your health, let alone the shape of the economy, right?
Yeah, and this article, they mentioned the book that was written, it's called The End of Overeating by this FDA commissioner.
Great.
So I kind of think the way they're pointing people, and it's in the direction of letting go of self-responsibility instead of what we're trying to tell people.
Yeah, they have the best of intentions. We'll give them the benefit of that doubt. But they are denying responsibility of the individual to take charge of their own health and fitness. And basically, when you say, well, I'm addicted to this, therefore I can't choose, you are nonetheless making a choice by indulging in those various addictions.